beads over time, they get weak and they turn to mush and stuff. I've got a water softener here, and you have to replace that. You can, you can get them replaced, or you can just buy a new tank and hook it up there. And if you have it set right, like mine, there's no salt in my water, and I've got a whole house water softener system here because our water from the damn city water is so hard, man. You can put new faucets in, and in 6 months, man, that they're destroyed. They're horrible. The glass in your showers, man, if you're not on it every week, you'll be in there with acid cleaning the glass to get the water softener or the hard water spots off. So I've got one myself, and I've had to replace those whatever the hell they call them beads that are in it. And the salt solution, all it does is when it does its cycle, is it's a brine that goes in and cleans the beads, and it should be pumping all that stuff out and all the contaminants and minerals out. The salt water is what cleans it. So you should, if they got salt, there's a problem with the system.
Yes,
yeah, because it almost makes me feel a little slimy, I guess you could call it.
What it is you're probably used to harder water, that when you get out of the shower, that with the water softener, when you get out, you feel still like you feel kind of soapy still. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You're not used to having water that's not hard. That your skin is cleaner and all the soap is actually rinsed off of you. When you get out, like you say, it feels weird when you get out of the shower and the water softener. That's you're not used to having all the soap and stuff rinsed off of you.
Huh. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Yeah, you're used to hard water not rinsing all that stuff off of you.
Yep.
And how harsh it is on your skin because of the hard water. So when you get out of the shower,
went through and installed water softeners for people in the city because they didn't think they needed them. When they went there, because they moved from the country into the city, which don't ask me why they did it, but whatever they did. And they called me up and they're like, hey, can you come out here and take a look at this for us? Check it out. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I come out there and I looked at it and I tested the water. The water that a lot of your cities get, it comes from the same aquifer that you're getting your well water from.
Right.
Like it's getting pumped straight out of the ground. It's just what they do a lot of times is they run it through and put a little chlorine, and some of them add fluoride to them and things of that nature. And, so you have fluoridated water and chlorinated water with like 1 or 2 parts per million of chlorine in it, and that's why when you go to they tell you if you got a fish and you're using tap water, you need to put this dechlorinator solution in it. Well, when I tested it, their water was extremely hard, and they were feeling weird when they were getting out of the shower because they didn't feel clean, they said. We put a water softener on it for them. I took a test, tested it, see how hard the water was, how much iron was in it, stuff, set the water softener properly, let it do a couple of regenerations the first off to get the resin beads going correctly. Boom, down the road they went. They got in, they took a shower, they called me the next day. Oh, thank you so much, Cupcake. Thank you so much for coming and installing that for us. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, them resin beads, they break down. And like my system, I installed it all myself because these damn companies around here wanted $4 or $5 grand to do it. I put a whole house. Yes, they're crazy around me. Crazy, man.
Is that labor and parts?
That's labor. That's installed. A water softener system installed. And I wanted a whole house filter put on. So out at my main supply where it comes in on the side of the house, I put on an A.O. Smith whole house water filtration with the charcoal filter. Yep. And then it leaves out of that and goes to my softener. And then after my softener, before it comes back into the house, I put a whole house cartridge filter. The reason I did that is because when the resin beads go to break down, they will start to clog up all of your faucets and spigots and stuff when they break down, that material of them, right?
Yep.
And I had that happen
you only get
in my
about 10
old
to
house.
15 years out of a water softener is all you're going to get. So
right. So I put the cartridge filter after the softener coming in, and I change it about every 6 months. It's never dirty, but I change it about every 6 months just to make sure it is clean, not contaminants or restricted flow. But I did that because at my other house, the water softener, when the resin beads started to break down,
Yep.
they come in through all the fixtures and everything. And I'm like, when I put this one in, I'm not going to let that happen. That filter will catch that. So I will
Right.
see when them resin beads go to break down. But that filter that I put on does not have a replaceable cartridge, the one before the softener. It's like a tank. You've probably seen them, Mike.
Yeah,
It's a big black
you're using
tank.
a tank. Yeah, you're doing a tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the charcoal, whatever stuff in it that filters and
Yeah.
gets a lot of the stuff before the softener.
You know what?
And
Actually, you know what's in it?
charcoal.
It's the dust from making charcoal briquettes that's put inside of a sock, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
that
kind of
one
what they
is
use
good.
for a charcoal filter for fish tanks too.
Yeah,
Aquariums.
it's the same
Yeah.
charcoal. Charcoal's charcoal. It's all
Yeah.
the same shit. So
So it's before my softener, and it is supposed to be good for 600,000 gallons of water. And that tank,
Okay.
that filter is only about $200. So I figured, because I'm on city water and I get my gallons every month, how many we use, and I figured I'll probably just change it at about 6 years. You know.
right.
So for $200, I'll change it every 6 years, and it's on the quick couplers thing there, where I can just unscrew them, take it off, put the new one in, and be done.
Right. Yeah, usually what I do, I mean, I'll tell you what I recommend, at least for a lot of people, when, especially if they got a high mineral content in their water softener to help them extend the life a little bit, is I recommend putting in Ice Spring. It's a 3-stage filter system. It helps remove the iron, the manganese, and the calcium out of it. They got 3 separate filters, and then put in the water softener. Do the same thing as you do there, except for just not with a charcoal, but I just do like a whole house filter that doesn't necessarily have a charcoal filter in it.
Yeah.
The big clear base ones, and it's the same thing. If you start losing resin beads, you don't want to get that all through your system. So because it will, I mean, it can mess it up, but that also helps to just remove any excess shit that might get through. But yeah, that's it, you know. And the one thing, the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize, that if you got a high iron content, a lot of times you need to raise the hardness level on the setting of your water softener. So to help remove that. And then there's water softeners out there now that actually have iron settings on them to help remove that, to keep that iron, you know, that red iron look off of your bathtubs and your faucets and all that other jazz. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Luckily, we don't have iron coming out of
You're
our
in Florida,
water
you most
plant,
likely
but
won't. Yeah, you're down there where you most likely won't.
yeah.
That iron is more for the Midwest area. That's where I normally find most of it is in the Midwest and stuff. So
We have a lot of sulfur down here. A lot of people on wells, regular wells, they fight a lot of sulfur, so they'll have the aerator and all that stuff out there to help with that.
Actually, the best thing to do with those is the either the hydrogen peroxide or the chlorine injectors. And then I mean, the chlorines are a little bit more expensive, because you have the chlorine injectors is basically you're using pool shock, if you will, and it slowly, there's a flow meter that goes in, and as the water is flowing, it turns on the injector, which injects a small amount into this huge, massive tank. And inside this storage tank is the chlorine in the water. And it's so that it can kill off that sulfur bacteria before it goes on. And then you have basically a whole house filter, a charcoal filter like you're talking about, and the charcoal removed that big one you're talking about, which helps to remove that, and then the water goes on in through the house. And that's usually how you handle that. The hydrogen salt or the hydrogen peroxide ones are a little better, because you don't have to do as much filtration with them, because you can, small amounts of hydrogen peroxide will kill it off, but it also won't hurt you. So.
Right. Yeah, the hydrogen peroxide is actually good for you.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. So, and a lot of it evaporates before it even gets to you. So that's why they say that, but I shouldn't say maybe not more expensive or less expensive, because I've noticed as I talk to people in different areas of the country, in one area, the chlorine's a little cheaper and the hydrogen peroxide's a little cheaper in another area, or vice versa. And it's almost like it moves around. It's really weird. So,
Yeah.
or then like when I talk with, you're down there in Jacksonville, you're like $4 to $5 grand for a water softener install. I'm like, fuck, dude. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to sell the farm in Ohio, Rocky, and come to Jacksonville and just start installing water softeners down there. Because at $4 to $5 grand, wow.
Yep. Oh, these rain soft companies and all of these, man, they're nuts. And I thought about it myself. I'm like, man, I could name this company like Affordable Water or something like that, right?
Right.
And go in and do these systems for $2 grand or something installed, half or less of what these damn people are doing them for, and still make a crap load of money, man.
Well, I'll tell you, like, I think the last one that I did for somebody, I did the Ice Spring 3-stage because they had a high sulfur and a high iron content, and they didn't want to have to do the regeneration so much with the water softener. And I want to say it was only like $2,500 for the whole house water filter, the 3-stage water filter, and the water softener. And that's all it was going to be. Not just a water softener. This is a 3-stage filtration system, a whole house filter, and the water softener for like $3 grand. So,
wow.
Yeah,
I know I wasn't going to pay it. I was like, nope. This is going to be a project for me, and it took me about 4 or 5 hours to do the whole damn thing myself.
They're really not that bad to install. They're really not,
No.
especially if you already have one installed. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can usually, if there's one already installed and we're doing something similar, I could be in and out in about an hour to an hour and a half. If it's not, then, and I've got to install it. It depends on where we're putting it, on how fast it, how fast it goes from there. So
I didn't put mine in the garage. It's not just on the hot water side. Mine's the whole house.
right,
And and this house was not pre-plumbed for one, like my old house was, and had it in the garage. So when I went to put it in, I had room over here on the right side, right where the water comes up from the main meter, up on the side, comes in the side of the house.
okay.
So I
okay.
cut it off where it goes out goes into the house, and I also put a bypass valve and stuff in. So if something happened with it, I could just close this valve and open the other, and just be back
Right.
on the regular city water. And then I did run 3/4 pipe around out to my hose bibs and stuff, so that I wasn't like watering plants and stuff with the softened water and all. And I did leave one at this front corner so that when we're washing vehicles and stuff, I can use the soft water, to do my final rinse of them, to keep,
Right.
help with drying in the water spots, because the damn city water is so hard. If you don't
Right.
dry it, and real quick, man, you got spots all over everything, the glass and all. So I kind of, I was able to do that by doing it myself. So, I was like, man, I said, most of them that are plumbed for the homes, it comes in, they're out there by your hot water heater here in Florida in the garage.
Right.
And, and usually it's only the hot water that's getting softened in a lot of them. Our old house, that's the way it was. It was only the hot water. I'm like, I want the whole damn thing done.
Right.
Filtered and softened.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm looking right here. I wanted to pull it up on my, so for the 3-stage filter and installation on that house there was $700. Oh no, that included installing the water softener. So, and then it was $800 for the softener itself. And then there was what? That's a water heater. Screws. Oh, I can tell you, well, this one I had to put French drain in, so that's why that's $2,500. But because I had to dig a trench and all that shit. So yeah, we were talking $2,200 for a whole house filter, $2,200. That's parts and labor for a 3-stage, a whole house filter, and a water softener. Yep.
I'm
$2,200
going back in my emails to look for some of these quotes I had. I think well, for the whole house filtration and the softener system, man, I know that one of the best ones I had was like $4,200. But they're all 4 to 5, 42, 4,600, 4,400. And I'm like, y'all are out of your freaking minds. I can go buy the whole damn system and put it all in myself for less than $1,000.
I can tell you right now. I mean, you can go look on my Facebook page, the OBD Products and Services, which is my construction company, and I literally had to go in. I think it was Colligan that installed the one chlorinated filter over at my father-in-law's house, and the reason why the damn thing didn't work right is because they installed the flow meter upside down. They sent techs out there 3 times. They called that a salesman come out there twice. They kept trying to blame it on Pop and say it was all his fault. And he finally he called Bobby and was like, hey, can Mike come over here and take a look at this for me? And, so she called me and I was like, yeah, tell Pop I'll be over whenever I get in off the road, And so when I finally got an opportunity to get back and go over and look at it, I'm looking at it, there's an arrow. Now, this is a white piece of PVC. This flow meter is made out of white PVC, okay? And it's got an electrical line that comes out of it, for the sensor, for the flow meter side of it. And there's a big black arrow that shows it's supposed to flow this way. And because they didn't want to make a little jig jog and change their plumbing up a little bit, they just put the son of a bitch in backwards. And that's why it wouldn't work right. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
And you know what he paid for that system? I think he paid like $7 or $8 grand for it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't warranty it. It was bad.
I might quit working on trucks next week and get into the water softeners business. I'll just empty out my van with all my truck working on tools and
I'm telling you.
Put me a damn pipe rack up on top.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Just go get you either some 4 or 6 inch PVC and put a cap on one end and put a threaded cap on the other. And just throw your pipe and stuff in there like your small stuff, your 3/4 and a half. That's what's in my trailer. I've got a trailer. I got an enclosed trailer and I just put a piece of 8-inch pipe up there with a hanger. And I throw all my 1/2 inch and 3/4. 1/2 inch goes in one, 3/4 goes in another, and it's separated by PEX and copper and all that. But it's
right.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of money, that's insane to me. Absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
To spend, I mean,
and hell, I'd be happy if I did one a week. Right?
Well,
I'd be happy if I did one install a week at that price.
The funny part about it is I'm looking at this estimate that, we were sitting here talking, and because I was going to have to dig up like 100 foot to put in a French drain for this water softener system to put the backwash outside because they were on a slab. And so even with digging 100 foot of trench, putting the new softener, the water, a water heater, so 3-stage water filter, water softener, water heater. We had to change some lines around in there, it looked like, because their drain for the AC unit was messed up for the evaporator. Dig 100 foot of trench for a French drain and install French drain, and then some rags and caulking and stuff. $5,700.
Wow.
But I'm digging 100 foot of tile and putting in tile.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm having to pull out an excavator and dig 3 foot and put French tile in, so yeah. And it's $5,700.
Wow. Yeah, they're crazy down here. They may be dropped a little bit now. I think, when did I put that one in here? 2020?
Oh,
I think 2020.
It's worse now than what it was then. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
I watch it all day. I do. I watch it all day long. These people are insane, dude. Some of these, of course, up around where I'm at, I run into the cutthroats and the hacks, and you get the ones that go in there and they, I had one lady come back at me on one bid, and she was like, "Oh, well, I got a guy that said that he can do it for," and I want to say she said it was like $3,000 or something, and I went, "There's no way." I had $3,500 in materials.
Right.
And I was like, there's no way. I was like, please send, I want to see this estimate. And so she shows me the estimate. And they literally, for $3,000. But I had $3,500 in materials in it.
Right. So how the hell are they going to do it?
How are you doing it? Well, so my buddy Danny, who's a super, with a contractor down in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area there, he sees it all day long. He has to put cameras up at every one of his job sites because these fly-by-night operations go around and steal from all the construction sites. So, like, literally nobody that works on any of his sites, even though he's got cameras up, they leave no materials. They leave nothing. Nothing is left behind. They don't even.
They're doing it
they
with.
literally
They're stealing the materials.
Yeah, they literally wait to have the lumber delivered. Like they don't even let, and then they only try to have so much lumber delivered, and then they load it up. If they're going to come back the next day, they bring a trailer and load the rest of it up on a trailer and take it away with them. Or they'll come back and there'll be a whole damn pallet, whole bundle of 2x4s or 2x6s gone.
Gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same thing with tires. I'll get guys ask me, how is this shop selling Bridgestone and Michelin tires for $350? I said, they're stealing the tires.
Right.
They're not paying anything for the tires. Because, I went to this place and they want $700 for this tire, and this place is telling me they can get me that tire for, $350, like $420 mounted out the door. I said, they can't even buy the tire at that. And they're stealing the tires,
Yeah, they are.
And then cutthroat in the other shops.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like, when you go down to, you go around to any of these shops anymore, massive cameras, big chains through all the tires, yada, yada, so that they could try to, otherwise, it's like you say, they'll go through and steal, probably 15, 20, low pro 22s, because that's the most popular tire out there right now, and then just wait for the phone call. Oh, we blew a tire alongside the road here, we're over on 95. Oh, we'll be out there. Give us 20, 30 minutes, then they're going to bust your ass for $500 for a tire that they didn't pay anything for, hit you for $150 an hour just to drive out there. By the time it's all said and done, you've paid $1,200, and they don't even have anything in it except for a little bit of gasoline or diesel fuel. And it's like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah. It's bad. You get them cutthroats and everything. And, and I don't know where the hell they're stealing. I mean, I know they're getting them from other places and everything, going stealing their tires. But, it's like, damn, you got to be pretty ballsy to go do that and build a business on doing that.
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you, did you get a chance to read the rulemaking I just put in for the rate cons?
I have not been to your website since I think Thursday.
So last night I finished up the rulemaking for the rate con and the requirement of the having the original rate on it. All accessorials must be on it and everything.
All right, I'm going to it now. Formal petition with the Department of Labor. That one?
That's the skilled trade one.
Okay.
It should
That's
be
the
right
one
there
on
on
the top of the page.
It should be the one for the rate confirmation. Let me look here. Did it not post correctly? There it is. Yeah. FOPT petitions FMCSA for rulemaking on rate confirmation, pre-dispatch disclosure.
I just refreshed. When I went to it and clicked on the website, it came up as resume browsing. So I just refreshed, and here it is.
I got you.
There it is. Okay. Yep, I'll have to go through that one.
Yeah, I'd
Go
like
through that one and check it out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get the grandson to bed here in a minute. Buddy, you got to get to bed. It's 9:30, boy. You got school tomorrow. He's over here playing with his damn slot car track.
Yeah.
5-year-old to stay up all night playing with them cars if you let him.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, so I get him to bed here in a minute now. Go through that one and check it out. Yeah, because tomorrow is going to be a busy day for me. I got to run out. I got one truck to do first thing in the morning. I got to be back here by 10 because we got a Zoom meeting thing with the adoption attorney and everybody on my grandson here. And then I got to go back out in the afternoon. Got 3 more to do. And then I got a couple of Carvana wrecker, their trucks they use to pick up and deliver cars. I got 2 of them to do Tuesday morning, and right now for a tire company and one for a Freightliner for another tire company Tuesday. But the phone rings all the time.
Well, it ain't never going to stop, man, until we stop turning these wheels on these big rigs, buddy.
Right?
You know,
yeah. And people ask me, what are you going to do when the autonomous trucks? You know, I'm like, you know what? They're still rolling on rubber tires. I'm just going to have to learn their systems with the steering sensors and all that to recalibrate them after when we're done with them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm still doing it if I'm still doing them when that's the majority. It may get to that time, but I'm hoping to work another 6, 7, maybe 8 years and then hopefully call it quits and kind of sit back and retire. But
right,
we'll see what happens.
I got a lot longer to go than 6 years before I get to hang her up. So
that's our goal anyway. But I like to work, man. I can't sit around and not do anything. So
I understand that.
I'm gonna do something. So I may not get into doing all the kingpins and springs and all that kind of crap that we do now. I may just strictly align the trucks, you know, at that point or something, just to be out. Because I do like being around. Most of our customers, and even with the fleets, they're pretty good people. And most of the owner operators we deal with are pretty good people. And, you know, you get the bad ones here and there, but most of the people that do, you know, come to us and call me, they're good people, you know, and I like being around them, meeting new people and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still around the trucks, though I'm not, you know, driving every day anymore. It keeps me around them, and I love the industry. So it'd be hard for me to just like completely quit and walk away.
Right.
You know.
Yep. Well, Pablo, the whole BOL rulemaking was your idea, sir. That's why I put it in there. So.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. It's on my screen. I will go through that one.
Yeah, him and I was talking here the other day when we, I think it was New Year's when we met down there in Louisiana, and we were sitting there talking about it, and he brought it up. He was like, you know, what do you think about, instead of worrying about the broker side of it or whatever, just making sure that the original rate is actually on the BOL? Like, the shipper has to put on the BOL what it is that they are paying for that load.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that could help, but it still doesn't stop the fact of not knowing it ahead of time, which that's where you need to know is on the rate con before you actually, like, you know, take the load. I mean, if we're going to do this, let's do it right, damn it. You know what I mean? And make an actual difference here. So.
Well, here's where I'm at with it. I'm with you on it, but I'm also against it because I think what that is going to do is create more fraud, and it's going to be bringing more people in to underbid it so that they get it, right? If every broker knows what they're paying this other broker, hey, I'm going to come in $5 less, and then the next one's going to say, hey, I see you're paying this. I'll do it for this. I'll do it for this, and I think it will be a complete race to the bottom. You know,
Well, we're
I
watching
think
a
that's
race
what
to the
will
bottom
hurt.
now. The
Yeah,
thing of it is this: we're already on. We are this. I mean, I will say this: we are already racing to the bottom. I do know that, and I
yeah,
do, and I firmly believe in what I say of not. If you don't know your operating costs, that's it. At the same time, though, there is a little wiggle room in there for the other side. Looking at it, talking about it, thinking about it, there is a little room in there.
yeah,
There is.
yeah,
But the thing of it is this, it's like I've said the entire time about the current rulemaking that's on the table, is that it doesn't do anything to fix it. The one that's on there now, if we're going to actually make a rule or a law that actually fixes it, it's going to be you're going to do something other than this, wait around until after the fact, you know?
yeah,
So it's like, I mean, but this is how we get better. Challenge the idea, I mean, we'll talk
yeah.
about it.
And see, for me, that's never been an issue for me because I know my cost, and if I can haul it for that and still make money, I do it. I don't care what they make, right?
Right.
And just like they shouldn't care what I make if I'm changing springs on a truck.
Right.
If you're good with the price and you know it's going to get right, does it matter if I made $400 or $600 on this job? At the end of the day, does it matter? No. So for me, that's kind of where I'm at on it, and why I could. I will read through it, but for me, it's like I don't care what the broker made. I don't care what Walmart made on my bunch of bananas I bought. I don't care.
We've had that conversation. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
The one thing I can see out of some of this, though, helping, is I can see it helping the double broker side of it. I can see that. Because you do gotta look at the double brokering side through it. And when you look at the double brokering side through it, okay, we'll say you're offering up a load, and we'll say it's coming out of Rocky's parts manufacturing, if we will, okay? You got a load of, I don't know, brake shoes. And you go to Pablo and say, hey, Pablo's a broker. You go to Pablo says, yeah. And he says, I can move that load for $1,000 for you. So he's the original one. Well, then we'll say, I don't know, Roger comes in and he says he's going to move it. He talks to Pablo. He pulls it and he pulls it down to $800, And then we'll just say I come in after the fact after that, but nobody knows that I've came in, and I say, well, I'll take that load, and then I try to book it out for $600. Well, if it's on there, the original rate, at that point, we're now at that 40% that they all keep talking about, that 40%. Yeah. Now somebody's going to look at it and go, how is it with the original rate it's at 1,000 and you're taking 40%? That right there is, because you got to admit that that is a little
that
outrageous.
does happen, but I think the resolution to that is coming, Mike. The resolution to that is going to be blockchain.
Well, I've heard about blockchain, and I understand where you're at with the blockchain. I do. And does blockchain help? It does. But when is that coming?
It's coming, but I don't think it's fast enough. I think
that's what I mean. When's it gonna? So let's just look and see where they're at with the development on it. So,
yeah, but I think blockchain will probably take care of it before we'd ever get a bill passed through Congress and the House and everything else.
Well, see, this isn't through Congress or the House. This is a rulemaking through the FMCSA, which happens faster than Congress.
Yes. Okay. So make it a rule with the FMCSA instead of a law.
Yep. Yeah. Run it as a rule or regulation. It goes faster. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think when blockchain comes in, blockchain is also going to get you as a carrier paid faster.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And also, it'll know the load is delivered. And with blockchain, with the technology, say you empty out tomorrow, and it sees that you have a load that you're delivering tomorrow, it will also be able to pick up loads available possibly right across the street from where you're delivering
Oh, I
to
know.
pick up instead of you driving 350 miles to pick up a load that you didn't see on the board that you're looking for on the board. The blockchain will pick you up. Hey, you're right here. This place is across the street. Why would we bring this guy from 300 miles away this way to pick up that load, and you go 300 miles that way to pick up the load, when you're both right here at places right across the street or 5 miles away with a load going the direction that you may want to go, or whatever. So I think blockchain is going to be a huge advantage to all that. Yeah.
No, yeah. I am absolutely hugely in favor of blockchain. Hugely in favor of blockchain. The problem of it is, though, is it's not there really. It's you got a little here, a little there.
Right.
I think Bobby Loads has talked about the load hunter or whatever. IO that's on there. And it's starting, but until you get, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that I'm trying to fix and want to fix the entire industry. So does blockchain help a little bit? Yes, it does. Does blockchain help all of it? No, it doesn't.
And I think the first place we'll see the blockchain kind of take over is more going to be in the van and reefer side of trucking. Your specialty stuff is going to take longer, like what you do, and car carrying and all that. It's going to affect the bigger parts of the industry first. And
so they're figuring sometime around 2030.
Okay.
Is what it's looked like. It's being piloted right now. And commonplace, potentially becoming commonplace by 2030.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Right now, that does no good for any of us in the industry over the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've got to look at something here. And the other thing of it is this. I understand where people want to throw something up against the wall and see if it sticks. But like I keep saying, if you throw poop up against the wall, it's still poop.
It's still poop, yeah.
Yeah, it don't matter. So let's make some, if we're going to do something, let's do something common sense here. If you guys want this, then let's write something that has some common sense to it and see if it goes anywhere.
Right.
Because this is the thing. I put it in there. That doesn't mean it's going to go through. But at least it's there for people to place comments on. And for all of us, and this is the thing. If you're against it, put your comment in against it. I'm not the end-all, be-all to knowledge. I research, I look at it, I go through it, I say, hey, this is what it is. Now, is it going to be, the end-all, be-all fix to it? No. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. Broker transparency does nothing to fix the industry. It fixes some double brokering issues. It fixes, cargo theft issues.
Right.
That it will do.
And that's another thing blockchain will do too. Blockchain will stop all the cargo theft.
But they reckon, I think, what was it? I was reading the other day. They say that it's something like 20% of all truck is involved in cargo theft.
Yeah.
Do you know how much that number is, sir? In dollar figures?
Probably in the $1 trillion or better, probably.
Yeah. If you go off of 70% of everything that touches a truck, and we have $31 trillion of GDP, that's $18 trillion touches a truck. 20% of that is theft, which is $3.6 trillion.
Yeah.
Is being stolen. So if we can maybe bring this in and stop the theft, now I'm not saying that these freaking shippers, manufacturers, and distributors are going to lower their prices because they start making more profits, but I'm a little on the optimistic side. It can be hopeful. Not to say that it's going to. We've had that conversation before. no different than when they talk about the ICC side of it. In the ICC they say, all this will bring shipping costs down. It didn't bring shipping costs, it brings shipping costs down to make things cheaper.
Right.
It brought the shipping costs down, but it didn't make anything cheaper.
Yeah, it didn't make anything cheaper.
No, when I went through and I did the research on that, I went, well, you still see the curve. It's on an upward trend. It didn't dip. There's no dip. It just still keeps going up. So, yeah. I don't know.
And all
the thing
these
of it is,
businesses,
I'm trying to bring stuff to the industry to make some changes. So we have to do something. But we got to do something with common sense that's not pay related. Because if you look at it, there's nothing involved in it that's pay related. It's just a matter of. But the other thing of it is the other part of it is this: the accessorials are on there now.
Yeah.
Now the rate confirmation has to have, if that goes through, has to have the accessorials on it. So if it doesn't have the accessorials on it, it's not considered a proper rate con. So which there's a lot.
And most rate cons, most agreements between the shipper and a broker or carrier, the majority of them, especially spot market, there is not a fuel surcharge rate broke out on it. It's one line. We're going to pay you $2,300 to haul this from here to there.
A lot of times,
And if it's a flatbed load that is tarped, it's a customer that requires everything to be tarped, and it's we pay $3,000 for this. You break it up however the hell you want to, but this is what it is. Right. So when contract freight has, depending on the customer, the shipper and the broker or agent, carrier, whatever, may have fuel surcharge in it if it's a longer term contract. Like if it's a 1 year contract, they're usually going to have fuel surcharge in there, because if fuel does go way up, that protects the broker from having to go to the customer and say, hey, fuel's up. Instead of $3,000 on this load, we need $3,300. Where the customer already knows that if fuel gets above this mark, there's going to be fuel surcharge added on to your freight charges. To go to the truck. So, these guys then will complain that, they're stealing the fuel surcharge because it's not on here. Well, you don't understand how the shippers
not every load has
give the load to their brokers.
Not every load has fuel surcharge. And the fuel surcharge, I'm really not looking for the fuel surcharge when I look at the accessorials. The accessorials are more like detention time, layover pay, tonneau pay, lumper fees. All of those things need to be on that rate. If you're going through, because I don't know, what was it? Who was it I was talking to the other day that said it was 15 minutes for them to unload the trailer, and they got charged $350 for lumper fees. That needed to be on the rate con before they took the load. That, hey, $350 out of this $1,000 load is going to be paid in lumper fees.
But does the carrier pay the lumper fees, though? No, they don't. It gets billed back to the broker and to the shipper.
Not all the time.
So you may have paid it 99% of the time it does. If you go back to, this was probably 3 years ago, the CEO, president of Capstone Logistics, was on with Chris and Larry.
Right.
And the president of Capstone Logistics, Chris David Long, is Larry Long's son, which was the owner of Blue Ribbon Logistics that Chris worked for. But because they were getting so much hate about these companies and the lumper fees and all that, they brought Chris on, and I've met Chris personally, and had him kind of explain how this works. And why they charge lumper fees is because Capstone, say you go to a distribution center, and Capstone is the one there that's unloading the trucks. They run and manage that entire warehouse. whatever distribution center, if it's say it's Costco, whatever, what name
Oh, I already
company
know how lumber
that you're
works.
at delivering, the company that's unloading is charging you for that freight to be unloaded. It gets palletized the way the distribution center wants it. You've seen them where they have to go in and
I
unstack
used to
pallets and
lump trucks
restack
back
it.
in the 90s.
Right?
I used to lump trucks
Okay.
back in the 90s.
I
Back when we
used to
still
look
could.
at it like, this is the stupidest shit I ever seen. I've had loads of dog food and like, you got to unload them all. We only want them 14 high, not 17 high. And we want 3 this way and 2 that way, not 2 this way and 3 that way. It has to be this way, that way. So they have to manage that warehouse. Though those lumper fees, the shipper knows that the receiver is going to have a lumper fee on that freight.
Right.
So
They
the
do.
shipper, in their cost, they know that you're going to pay it, but you're also going to be reimbursed, and it gets billed back to the shipper.
But hold on. This is the thing, though. They're not. This is where I understand what you're saying there. The problem of it is that I see and I hear from talking to many and many of them is that what you're seeing is happening, what you see there, except for the thing of it is the brokers keeping the lumper fee and not telling the drivers that they're going to have to pay a lumper fee when they get to the place, because not every place has lumpers. And this is why I'm saying it needs to be on the rate con, because what you are saying is correct, sir, except for that information is not being passed on to the carrier. So when the carrier shows up at said warehouse, they're unaware that there's going to be a $500 lumper fee.
Yeah.
That's why this needs to be put on the rate con, because
and
that's
many
where
times
they are stealing that.
And many times when the load gets there, and many times though, the broker may not know what the lumper fee will be on it until it gets to the receiver.
But see, this is where
but they should be telling there's going to be a lumper fee at this receiver.
But
and
see,
I can see some brokers not knowing if it's a spot market one-time load here and there or something.
Well, look, I'm sorry, but ignorance does not excuse.
Oh, I agree.
Ignorance does not excuse. And this is why I put this in here, is so that when this comes around and this comes out, and if we get this and this becomes rule, then the shipper has to notify the broker, because everything has to be on there. It all has to be on there. So that means the shipper has to tell the broker, hey, we know there's a $350 fee at the consignee to unload this. Because I will agree with you. Yes, they do know that. But do they transfer that information to the broker?
The shippers know. Yeah, but the brokers may not know.
Not know.
You know.
But see, so this right here also helps the brokers the brokers get an egg on their face.
Yeah.
You're going through, and now they know. They can tell, because how can you properly bid a load as a carrier? And I don't deal with lumpers, but I know guys and gals that do. How do you properly bid a load or quote a lane if you don't know all the information? If you don't, if you go through and you call, I don't know, I call a broker and I say, hey, I seen you got this load, and it's going from, I don't know, LA to Richmond, and you've got, I don't know, $3,000 on it. Okay. Well, what's the detention? Well, they pay detention after 2 hours. Okay. And they pay it at a rate of $75 an hour. Okay. Any layover pay? Yeah. If you're laid over, they pay you $500 a day. Okay. Tanu pay. Well, sometimes that's figured. Sometimes we just do a flat fee of $250. Okay. Well, is there a lumper fee? Well, they don't say anything about a lumper fee on here, so no, there's no lumper fee. Okay, so if I'm okay with the $3,000 to move it over there, and then I get to fucking Richmond, and the distribution center looks at me and says, that'll be $500 to unload your truck, sir. Now I'm not making $3,000 on the load, I'm making $2,500. I deal with the same thing right now with washouts.
Cupcake?
What's that?
Why are you making $2,500? I don't understand.
Because if I'm getting paid $3,000 off the load, and I'm not aware that there's a $500 lumper fee at the end of the damn thing, I'm having to take $500 out of that load to pay that lumper fee.
No, you get reimbursed for that.
Yeah,
All
you get
lumpers are
reimbursed.
reimbursed.
Not all the
Carriers don't pay
time.
for it.
Not all the
Well,
time.
every one that I do probably $3,500 a week in lumpers
I understand
that I have to
what
pay
you're
that I
saying.
turn around and I charge back to my customer.
But yes, but see, this is the thing. I know of people that are not as lucky as you, sir.
The only time that a lumper is charged, carriers are never supposed to pay for lumpers ever.
I understand that, but what I'm talking about here is the times that it happens. I want to get rid of the times that it happens.
Because carriers call me and they go, hey, they're charging a lumper. And I'll say, okay, what do you want me to do? You want me to put it on your Raycon to reimburse? Or do you want to, do you want to pay it out of pocket and I'll reimburse and I'll put it on the Raycon? Or do you want me to send you an EFS number right now?
I understand that. But
Yeah.
Cisco, this is the thing though, bro. You have a conscience and you're a good broker.
I'm just saying, like in the 25 years I've been doing this, I've never been charged a lumper from even from another broker. I'm just saying, like, the only time they'll do that is they'll tell me, there's going to be a $300 lumper. I'm going to put it in the rate. I'm going to give you, just going to put it on the Raycon, and we'll call it even right there. So
Right.
they'll pay me ahead of time, but like lumpers
And
are
that's
never
all I'm
supposed
at.
to be charged to
That's all
carriers.
that's all it's saying though is
Yeah.
that you're notified ahead of time of what there is so that everybody's aware of what
Right.
the costs are. That's all that states. Put it on the fucking Raycon. Why is it such a problem if there's a $300 lumper fee at the end of it to put it on the Raycon so everybody knows ahead of time?
Well,
Because some of these guys are not getting this. That's the thing about it. And I'm seeing this
I think that
from
comes
people that
down
I
to
talk
education, though, too.
Well, I understand that,
Of
but
the-
we're
of the
talking
driver,
about 30%. 3 out of 10 drivers that I talk to, 30% of the time I talk to them, I literally I hear these stories that they're paying
Is it
out
that
lumper
they're not
fees they
getting
weren't aware.
reimbursed for their lumper? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
There's
they're not
no
being
reimbursement?
reimbursed for the lumper. There's no reimbursement, and they were not aware of it when they booked the load. So how is that right? That is what I'm talking about. I understand what you're saying. It's the same thing that Rocky said.
Right.
The shippers are aware of it. The shippers are telling the brokers. The problem of it is a lot of times is that we don't have brokers that are honest like you, Cisco. And this is one of the ways of getting rid of that dishonesty. Just what's wrong with putting all the information up front? That there's a $300 lumper fee, and that yes, you're being paid it right now. So you're going to get $3,000 for the load. There's a $300 lumper fee at the end. It's in here as well. Boom, bing, boom. The detention pay is $50 an hour or $75 an hour before you even leave. It's all agreed to ahead of time. Instead of this bullshit after the fact of arguing over detention for 6 months, 8 months after the load's delivered, arguing over layover for 6 to 8 months after the load's delivered, arguing over, I see guys that have to argue over lumper fees, even though they got paid for it. They wasn't aware of it. They're not getting reimbursed for it. So if they got paid $3,000 and they're paying $300 for a lumper, they're having to pay that.
Why they would not be getting reimbursed for it. I've just never heard of that. I'll be honest with you, Cupcake. I've never heard of it. I have not been reimbursed for it because they forgot to pay me, or because I didn't turn in the receipt, or different things like that. Like, and all I do is I pick up the phone, I call, Alan Lund. Hey man, I had a $300 lumper on this. I never got paid for it. And then they'll go, oh really? Well, send me your receipt, and I'll send in the receipt, and they'll issue me an EFS right there, or they'll just send me out a check right away. Like I've never had a problem not getting my money for a lumper, or a broker paying for a lumper.
I haven't either. I have heard a lot of stories of drivers and these guys saying, oh, I'm paying these lumper fees and this and that. But I hear those stories, but most of it is from these same fools that want $10 a damn mile because they hold the steering wheel. And because I know from even back in the 90s when I did reefer for a while and decided that shit wasn't for me, in 95, 96, I said, this shit ain't for me sitting at these warehouses all day long. But I never bitched about a lumper fee because I knew I got reimbursed.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I've never, but I mean, maybe there is cases where, like, what Cupcake's in. I mean, I've just never. if a carrier is not getting their lumper fee, and this is why I think that lumpers are just a scam all the way around. I mean, I have a new customer that I got. I got a new customer over there in Pomona, California, and the lady tells me because they just opened up this distribution center, right? And she tells me. So anyway, we agree on the rate and everything. I send my truck over there to get it, and they charge me a $300 lumper. So I turned around and I paid the $300 lumper, and then I put it on the bill and I sent it to them. She got the bill and she tells me, "Why are you charging me the lumper?" And I said, "Well, you need to pay the lumper." She's like, "Well, no, because all the trucks that come in here, they pay lumpers." And I'm all, yeah, and they're turning around and charging their customer. Are you arranging the freight, or are they arranging the freight? Well, no, they just ship it to me. Exactly. You're charging the lumper. The carrier gets it, gives it to the broker. The broker turns around and charges Tyson or Smithfield or whoever you bought the product from. They're paying for it. And she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that. I just thought it was something that the drivers pay." I was like, "No, they don't pay that." And she's like, "Well, why do they pay that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't even know how this even came to be." But I mean, it's just like a totally unnecessary.
It came to be because of the laziness of those that are operating the distribution centers.
Oh, well,
I don't even think it's that. I don't even think it's that. You know what it is? They don't want to have to deal with employing all these people, dealing with the payroll, dealing with all this garbage. They give it to somebody else like Capstone to deal with. All they want to do. But Cupcake, if I'm a grocery store, I don't want to deal with putting this stuff away. I want to sell groceries.
All right. Well, but you know what? You have to organize your store. So that's what it is. You don't want to organize your store. It's like, okay, so it's like your shop, Rocky. Do you let your shop turn to shit and your van turn to shit and you don't keep it all organized? Or do you clean it up and straighten it up as you go every day?
Yeah, I mean, I keep my stuff together. But when they have these big, huge warehouses with hundreds and hundreds of employees.
Well, but that's what lumber services do. They clean the store up for them is what it is. Instead of doing it themselves or paying their employees, they're paying a lumper service to clean up their shit. Lazy.
It's kind of it's kind of like people that use like Job Force in these places where people go to every day for day labor. Right, the companies don't want to hire those people full time, so they let this company manage all the people. They're just supposed to show up and go to work.
F&H over in the Dayton area is the reason why I stopped being able to do private lumping out of the Meyer Distribution Center, because two guys went in there. They figured out that if they started their own company, got a contract with Meyer, and then they pushed all of us out. And you know the funny part about it is, Meyer now pays more money to have F&H in there than what they would if they just paid their own fucking people.
Well, I asked the people at Kroger one day, I go, "Why is it that you guys have, what is that lumping? Universal Lumping is the company that they had in there. I don't know, it might be Capstone now because they're taking over everything. But at the time it was like Universal Lumping. And the guy told me, he's like, "We're union paid." The guys who receive, the receivers that count the product and sign the paperwork, we're union. Kroger doesn't want to pay a bunch of union guys, $30 an hour to unload these trucks. So they just outsource it to these lumping companies, and they just pay, and those guys make, minimum wage, you know what I mean? And they unload the trucks, they break down the product. Because they'll unload your truck right away, and then they'll be like, "Hey, well, you'll see a green light go inside. You're like, hey, the receiver hasn't gotten here yet to count it." He's the guy making $30 an hour. Those guys make minimum wage, and they work for a separate company.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened with me with F&H. Those two guys come in there. They're making probably.
Well, they were probably getting guys that were getting hurt and shit too over there. You know what I'm saying? And so these guys went in there with their own liability insurances and shit like that.
Well, that's what happened. Basically, it used to be I would sit out there with a bunch of other guys, and we would be on the CBs, okay? And then you'd have guys coming in off the highway and, truck drivers, and they knew, you get on the channel on the CB, you holler out, and, I'm sitting over in a black El Camino, I'll come find you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we would work out the price.
Yep.
They'd pay you cash. I'd ride in with them in the truck, go through, hop in there, unload the trailer and shit, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. Well,
I remember that.
unfortunately, I do know the one thing that did help F&H and those two guys that did it is that there was 3 dumbasses that come in there drunker than, like, oh my God. It was bad. And they got hurt.
Yeah.
And when they did, that kind of, and then F&H, they those two guys, they seen what was up. They knew how to do it.
Yep.
So they went in there, they formed a business, you know, proper LLC, workers' compensation insurance, the whole 9 yards, had, you know, general liability insurance, the full deal. And they went in there and they managed to work a deal with Meyer and they took it over. But the thing of it, the funny part about it is this: Meyer pays more to those guys than what they would if they just paid their own people. And F&H, the guys that own the business, they pay their guys minimum fucking wage. Well, they're making probably 4 to 5 times as much than what they are, than their guys are making off of it.
Right. Right.
So,
No,
Yep.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just, but yeah, if there's a carrier out there that's not getting reimbursed for a lumper, you know what really pisses me off is I get on these guys with the, that, like, I'll call a broker and I'll go, hey, they're charging me $250 and you send me a lumper. Yeah, sure. And then they'll charge me a comm check fee on top of it. I'm like, screw you, dude. That's your customer, your responsibility. I'm not asking you for a fuel advance. I'm not asking you for money off of the rate. This is just something that's out of my control, you know. And they'll try to charge you
this
some
is
bullshit,
why,
you know,
this
7%
is why-
fucking.
well,
you know,
but see,
fee
this is
for
why, that right there, this is why this rulemaking that I've put in there to the FMCSA, it brings all of those costs that are out of your control into the light. So that there's none of that bullshit that you're talking about right there, of where you're getting caught on the backside for some bullshit fee, on a fee, or an original fee of a lumper fee that you shouldn't even have to be paying. But yet you're paying it, and then they're wanting to charge you a comm check fee to send you your damn money. This is once
screw that,
again
man.
how that.
No.
Well, so this is where if it's already there up front, if everybody knows about it up front, that stops that bullshit.
Also, you know, there's a lot of them now that are prepaid lumpers. You know, they're prepaid to eliminate the drivers having to deal with it and all of that crap. And there's more and more of that happening, and I think it makes it easier for the lumper company, Capstone or whoever it is.
Right.
It makes it easier for them. It's less money changing hands from the shipper to the broker to the carrier to the lumper and all of that stuff. Is they're just doing, you know, the lumper fees are prepaid. You show up, it's already paid, and you go away. And there's more and more of that now.
Yeah.
So
you know
what there was.
Maybe
Now
this rulemaking will help force it to be 100%, to where that we don't even have to worry about the lumper fees, because there's no, at this point, there's not going to be any of this backsided bullshit to where somebody tries to slide a lumper fee in on somebody, and they go, you know what, we just need to do this as a prepay. Tyson's going to call Kroger and be like, hey, what are your lumper fees for these loads that are coming into your, I don't know, Cincinnati, Ohio
But Cupcake,
facility?
they should know that already. They're getting back charged all this shit anyway.
You know what I'm saying? I understand.
I
You know,
don't
the
even
thing of it is,
understand it,
Cisco,
to be honest with you.
I understand that.
It is
but
so
it doesn't
crazy.
always happen that way, though, and you know
No,
this,
you're
sir.
right. You're right. You're
You know.
absolutely right. I'm not saying it
So-
doesn't always happen, but I just say, like, I think that the lumper thing needs to just go away altogether. It's
It
just
does.
an
It
unnecessary
100%
thing
does.
that the carrier
And-
doesn't have to be responsible for that shit. And
And
why
you know
is it
what?
that
And
I
it should
have
be
to send
negotiated
money
why-
every week to fucking pay this shit, that all I'm going to do
And-
is turn around and give it to my customer?
And this right here is where, by putting that all these accessorials ahead of time before the rate con is signed, that will most likely stop the bullshit, because now they're no longer able to hide it. There's not going to be any more of this. They're just going to have to say, you know what, we're just going to have to actually do what we're supposed to do. And you know what? Instead of paying this shit to the broker, to the fucking carrier, to the lumper fucking service, We're just going to call the fucking distribution center and we're just going to set up a direct payment. And then we don't have to worry about that part of the accessorials anymore. Now the accessorials, the only thing we're paying attention to is detention time and layover pay and tonneau pay. And then guess what? If those are already on the rate con, there's no getting out of that bullshit after the fact, after we've delivered the load, and we've got to fight about detention and layover for the next fucking 14 months.
Right.
And I'm not saying that always happens with me, but it does happen. I mean, we're fighting with Post up in Bloomsburg, PA right now. I've been fighting about detention with them on one load since April.
Yeah.
I was there for 18 hours.
And when
I'm
you,
still
a
fighting.
lot of that though too, Mike, when you're dealing with layover and detention pay, the carriers and brokers won't pay that until they bill it to the shipper, all right? But they are not going to pay you until the shipper pays the broker.
I'm aware,
Or if
but
it's
that's
a
what I'm
direct-
saying.
Which
That's
that,
why-
that I can see as
we're
being
fighting
a really
with Post.
touchy thing because, because a carrier, as a carrier, I mean, trust me, I get caught in, I mean, I'm always between a rock and a hard place. When I'm the broker, I'm getting pissed off because I'm getting charged. And then when I'm the carrier, I'm pissed off because they won't pay me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but, it's a weird deal where I go,
Well, how about this?
how come you're not paying me the detention? And they're like, well, if the customer pays it. Well, bullshit. I'm running the load for you, not for your customer.
Right.
That's it. And so this is the thing. Quantum Maroot. Quantum Maroot. It is a legal term. And it means that any services rendered should be compensated reasonably. To paraphrase the meaning.
Right.
Which means if somebody ties up your truck for 4 fucking days, you should be reasonably compensated for such. And you know what? This is where those accessorials need to be put on a fucking rate con to begin with. And it needs to
And
be,
it should not
if your truck got held up for 10 hours, we paid attention at whatever, we'll say $75 an hour after 2 hours. Well, guess what? If I've got a scale ticket that says that I weighed in at 8 o'clock in the morning and I didn't leave your facility until 6 o'clock at night, that equates to 8 hours of detention. And so 8 times 75, that goes on the invoice immediately. And it's automatically paid on the invoice. There's no arguing about it for 14 fucking months.
Right. And I
Because if it's on the rate
100% agree with
contract, it
that.
has to be paid.
I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I do agree with that all the way around.
So
And I also
Yeah,
think,
well, that's what
go
I'm
ahead,
saying.
I've been
I
listening.
also think $250 a day layover pay is a bunch of bullshit.
It is, because that's not Quantum Maroot. So, Sarah, go ahead.
So I've been listening in for a minute, right? So we pulled reefers for about 6 months, like I was talking to Cisco Kid a little bit ago about, right? But we always asked up front if they was covering the lumper fee, and I refused to take it out of my account and pay it. And we always called the brokers and got the EFS check to pay the lumper. So I don't know.
And you know what?
Never...
I understand what you're saying, but I have heard the stories and talked to the guys and seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I understand you guys have probably never experienced it, but you know what? I can tell you this. I never experienced slavery, but I know it fucking happens.
Right. I mean, I know that there's crooked people out there. Like, I'm not saying
There you
that.
go. Well, that's what I'm trying to stop. So what's wrong with just
Now,
putting
Mike,
it on the damn rate con ahead of
Is
time?
some of that has happened? Is that because of double brokery?
Well,
The
I'm
double
probably sure
broker
some of
is
it
not
has.
paying it? Is
It
it
could
because
be.
the double broker's not paying it? Right?
It could be.
So, because I've
So-
never had that experience, and even when I went to Landstar and would do stuff like that, I would bring some loads down to McLean here in Orlando and other stuff.
But this is
I
the thing,
always
dude.
called in and
When
talked to
you're
the
talking
broker, and
about
they would give me an
Landstar, man,
EFS right there.
Yeah, but when you're talking about Landstar, Rocky, and it's the same thing I'll say to Chris, you guys got it made over there. You know everything up front with Landstar. If I didn't like running hopper bottom so damn much, I'd sell this fucking trailer tomorrow and go to Landstar right now. I'm not even bullshit.
I mean, I say it's worth putting in there and worth fighting for, right? Just to make sure it doesn't happen.
That's
I don't
it.
think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it's really an. I mean, I agree that there. I'm just trying to think of a. I'm trying to think of a way that you can get fucked out of this charge, because even if you pay it, they give
Well, how
you a
about this?
receipt that you could take
How
to
about this,
somebody
though?
and get.
How about this? How about we just stop it? Don't worry about how you're going to get fucked out of it, and just write something in there so you can't.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
So
I mean,
let's
I'm
not
just
even
saying,
worry
I think
about trying to think
I
about
would like
how
to
it
fight for
happens.
the lumper fees to go away altogether. Like, why
Well,
the fuck
right.
is the carrier paying for this thing? I don't understand it.
I don't
And
either.
I've even told my customers, I'm like, dude, put it on your fucking rate. They won't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it. They tell me. They won't pay it that way. I don't know. I don't know if it's a tax thing. If I go down to Laredo, take a load of chicken going to Mexico, $200 cash. It has to be cash. There right there. I know when I send a driver down there, I go, you better have $200 cash, because if not, they're going to make you leave the facility, go to the truck stop that's 4 miles down the road, and you're going to lose your place in line. So make sure you take $200 cash. And they have 80, 90 trucks a day in there. Could you imagine the fucking money they're pulling in for that?
So let me just throw this out here at you real quick, Cisco. You know that I've told you that the FOPT Act that I have on the website has everything
Yes, sir.
in it that we want to see changed, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you read it yet?
Are you really going to say that to me?
I'm just going to ask the question. Have you read it yet?
No, I have not. I'm going to be honest with you. No, I have
Okay.
not.
Well, then I'm going to tell you this. So the rulemaking that I just did is Title 1, Section 103, Mandatory Rate Disclosure, Section A, Subsection A. Subsection B is lumper fee allocation. Responsibility for all lumper fees rests exclusively with the shipper or receiver who requires these services. Under no circumstances shall a motor carrier or driver be required to advance pay or absorb lumper fees. Any broker's attempt to deduct lumper fees from the carrier rate constitutes an unlawful chargeback. Give me some time, brother. I can only write so fast.
Wonderful. I like
Give
it.
me some time
like
on these rulemakings. I can only write so fast, sir.
I like it,
I've
man.
got 5
can you get an
rulemakings out
AI?
there, brother. I've got
Can you
5
get an AI
rulemakings.
bot and write this stuff faster, Mike?
You know what, Rocky? I'm not fucking Dave McCowan. I write my own shit, thank you.
You can see his
When,
hair is
when the
getting messed up, Rocky.
FOPT
Come on,
gives
man.
something out, it comes from the FOPT, not fucking ChatGPT.
Yesterday, Cupcake's hair was nice and slick back. He had like a little. It was nice and good. Look at it now, man. He's getting all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, you guys today have got me something else. Like, we're over here.
Looks like he's got less
I'm
hair,
trying to
too,
make it
Cisco.
better, and you're arguing about shit that doesn't even matter.
We
over
need.
here,
We
and I'm
need.
like,
You're
God
absolutely
damn.
right. You're right.
Hey, Rocky, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And get his bill and run it through Chat GPT.
If I knew how to use
You don't.
the
You don't.
Chat
You don't sound
GPT, I
AI
would.
enough for us.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to be AI for you guys. I'm sorry. So it's
No,
one of those.
I'm with
Rocky,
you.
you're doing a hell. I mean, Cupcake, you're doing a hell of a job, man. You are doing a hell of a job. My
You
hats
are.
off to you. You know it, brother. If you were right here, I'd give you a hug, man.
I'm
No, I
just
think
saying,
you-
it's
I
like
think you
I'm
did a
on my
good job.
5th rulemaking, guys. Each one's a petition
You're
of a
doing a
letter
great
of a
job,
fucking
man.
10.
You really are.
And it's like, you're over here going, well, what about the lumber fees? I'm going, fuck, that's the next rulemaking. God damn. You know?
Yeah, let's just get rid
No,
of
and,
it.
and
man.
I'm
It's-
with
it's
you.
a lot of money.
You know, they need to do something about that because the money changing hands 4 times. And if there are guys out there not getting reimbursed for their lumper fees, I think that comes back to the knowledge of the guy that's there paying the lumper fee that doesn't know he should be charging that back to the broker for the chipper and being
I can see
reimbursed
that.
on that.
I can see that.
But I can also see, I guess, probably some of these, double brokered loads and stuff where the fraud loads that could be happening, I guess. But then again, I'm also like, why do we need a law for that? This guy that owns the truck and is going in there should know this, but
And
I
you
know
don't
so
know,
many
but see this.
don't. And
That's
you
it.
know,
The thing of it is this: there's a lot of these double broker loads. Like I'll put it this way: Mark, good buddy of mine, he works for a brokerage. I'm not going to say the name. I'm hoping to get him on our podcast, or at least his boss, Randy, because he's been in a lot longer. He's got about almost 35 years in, I think. But anyways, he's told me horror stories about the double brokering. Horror stories. I mean, and these drivers, they had no clue. And the next thing you know, they can't get paid. They're calling the shipper. The shipper's going, we don't even know who you're talking about. And then they get the number. They're calling and talking to Mark. And Mark's going, well, we paid this guy. So then it's a whole freaking huge nightmare because they paid this one. And the next thing you know, this other brokerage is gone. You can't even find them sometimes.
right.
So that's one of the reasons why I think
Right.
if we do this rulemaking and petition it to where it's not saying that we're capping brokers, it's not saying that it's a guaranteed rate, it's just that all of the information is disclosed ahead of time. Any and all information is disclosed ahead of time. So that there is no more of this bullshit.
And just like what's going on now with like highway, with the brokers saying, we're going to check you on the highway. We have to connect to your e-log in that truck. These guys are not liking it. But what is happening in an industry with the double brokering and all the fraud is forcing this to happen, where the broker, the original broker, will not give a load to somebody if they cannot tie to that truck, tie to that ELD, tie right. directly to that driver. And I think that's going to stop a lot of double brokering. But the drivers don't like it.
Well, hold on though. Let's stop here for a second though. So we're going to talk about the highway then. Okay, Cisco, don't you got highway?
I do.
And what's the cost for you as a broker to have highway?
$1,000 a month.
So $12,000 a year, steep.
Yep.
Yes.
On a small. This is on a small business here now, guys. Because
it's way more.
6 trucks.
They base it on how many loads you move. Yes.
But what I'm saying is that's still a $12,000 cost to you, Cisco. Now, if we can go through and by doing this rulemaking here and remove that whole double brokering bullshit, because now all information from the shipper and the consignee has to be on the rate con, or it's not considered a legal load. Do you still need to have highway to vet it? Or can we just now have, because we know all the information, it's there?
Well, the problem is I don't know exactly how that would prevent the fraud, because it's basically what I'm going to give you my horror stories. I have a bunch of them where I've had loads try to be stolen. And basically what they do is they just basically mirror a brokerage. So basically they'll get a hold of a rate con, they'll just doctor it up and make it look like, do you remember that brokerage, BMG, damn it, what is it? BN something, I don't know. Anyway, they're not around anymore, but they were pretty big. I don't know, somebody bought them out. But anyway, I booked the load with the guy. He gave the load to another guy. The guy kind of figured it out, called me, somehow got a hold of me and told me, hey, what's going on, and started questioning me about it. You know what I'm saying? And I was going like, who are you? You know what? And he's like, yeah, well, who are you? We were kind of like, who's the, we didn't, there was just a person in the middle. And I said, oh, I gave it to this company. Well, I got it from this brokerage. And the thing is I had a question about the rate. And I called that company, and the only way I found out that it wasn't a legit rate con was when I called them and gave them the load number. They didn't have that load number, and the only thing that was doctored was the load number. I kept giving them the load number. They're like, that's not one of our load numbers. And they're like, yeah, I got it right here on your rate con. And they're like, well, we don't run that kind of number. That's not our number. And that was just kind of, that's how we kind of came to be. And the guy was like, yeah, he gave me like $1,000 more than what I had given it to him for. So in order for me to get that guy to go down there, I had to pay the carrier that $1,000. I mean, I had to pay $1,000 on top of the load, you know, just to get the load down. I was going down to Laredo, I remember, and for him to take it down there, you know, he charged me that, I don't know, some bullshit price. And I thought they were in it together. I thought that was a scam, you know. Well, we'll just play it off like this, and you know. And I put it in at the time. I put it into that board, you know. Hey, watch out for these guys. You know, I think it was, you know, they were double brokering this load, you know. But I mean,
that's why
they have. I don't know how that would. I don't know what putting that information on there would do. To be honest with you, I mean, they could still mirror another broker. You know what I mean?
Well, but
they
so
will.
let me think this. Well, let me throw this out here at you. So, let's say the load from the shipper pays $1,000, okay? And you go through and we'll say you take 10% of the load, all right? So you're going to broker it off at $900, okay? That other company that you're talking about, we'll say they decide to turn around and throw $500 on your load for that bullshit price that they like to do. So now if they're telling a carrier that they're going to pay them $1,400 to haul the load, when the rate con comes out and the original shipper rate is on there and the original shipper rate is on the BOL and it shows $1,000, that should immediately tell that carrier, this ain't right.
Well,
Cisco told me he's paying me $900.
Right, but
there's
I mean,
no way.
But the shyster,
the
shyster will make a false document from the shipper to the broker.
But
you can't do that on the
This is the part
BOL.
I'm not going to agree with. That's the part that I'm not going to agree with you there, Cupcake, is putting any kind of pricing on between the negotiation between the broker and the shipper should not be on the BOL. I mean, again, I don't think that should be I mean, if it's going to be between the carrier and I mean, then okay, let it be between shipper, carrier, and I, but not giving it on a BOL where that guy can still go and give it to another broker and go, look, this is what I paid, and look at, you know, now everybody knows the pricing, and then it's just a straight race to the bottom again. I mean, how are you going to protect that? How are you going to protect that negotiation is what I'm trying to say.
Well, this is where you actually, like, you know,
how would you protect the negotiation is my question. If everybody knows the price.
If everybody knows their operating cost, this is where that education ties back in. Nobody's going to take a fucking load for 60 cents a mile.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is...
So this is where you got to put the whole... This is where I'm trying to put the whole ball together here.
Okay.
And I know it's going to take time here, but I've got to try to put the whole ball together. And I'm only on step 5.
But what protects him from losing his customer, though?
What do you mean, what's keeping him from losing his customer?
Well,
from the carrier.
Yeah, I mean, if the carrier knows the price and the carrier likes working with a different broker better, well, it keeps the carrier from going to give the other broker the.
I think that would be the test. I mean, that's going to be that would have to be tested a lot. I think you would have to put that to the test to make sure that would work. I don't want to sit here and be like a Debbie Downer and say that no, that would never work. We don't know if that would work. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you could actually. The only thing I could see where a customer would continue to use the broker is because they don't want to deal with drivers. Okay,
and
they
that
don't
is
want to deal.
90% of all shippers and traders and buyers right now.
They don't want to deal with a bunch of carriers that will have one truck and they're only going to give them one load. They want to give 50 loads to one broker and have that guy go find 50 trucks.
And that's
exactly
basically
what they want to do. So would that work? I don't know if that would work. I would like to see a test run on something like that just to see if, see how it would affect the pricing, of that. Because I think that we have an obligation also to protect the negotiation between the broker and the shipper itself. I mean, if I can get a truck, and I mean, it sounds, and I hate to put things this way, but if I can get a truck at a better price than, say, Rocky as a broker, or Roger who just came in as a broker, if I can get a better price for that customer, why can't I make more money?
I don't have an issue with that. What I'm trying to do is stop the double brokering and stop the theft. And so, like, when you tell me the story that this guy goes through and he offers a rate above what,
Yeah.
and it could have probably been above what the shipper cost.
Oh,
When
yeah.
the carrier goes in to get it and they see that, they're going to know that that rate that they just got offered by that double broker is bullshit.
Well, how?
So this is going to help stop that.
Right. I mean, I can
Let me
understand
ask
what you're
this.
saying.
It's not
I mean,
gonna
I can
stop.
see that.
But how does
It's
the
not-
double broker? Okay,
You don't
he
know that,
gets it from
Roger.
the original
I
broker.
do.
He gets
do?
the broker gives the load to somebody he thinks is going to haul it, and it's a double broker.
Right.
That double broker gets that rate con with the shipper and all of that. What stops that double broker from mirroring that document, changing the
Well,
rates, and
because-
sending it to the next guy?
Because
that
Rocky,
he's
it's
gonna
on
screw.
the BOL as well. It's on the BOL
It's on the
as well. That's
BOL.
what he's saying.
But
Yes,
if
he's
they
saying
can
the
make
rate
fake,
is shown
if they can
on
make
the BOL.
fake
They can't
rate
make up
cons,
a
why
BOL
can't they
from the
make
shipper.
fake BOLs?
Because you get the BOL
Well,
from
but
the shipper.
the carrier's the one
You,
that they're
you
screwing.
can make
so.
up any document if you want.
Well, no, you can't.
You
but what I'm
don't
trying to
get
say
a
is that
BOL
when
from
the-
a broker.
when
You
the-
get the BOL from the
you
shipper.
get it from the shipper.
No,
you get it from the
a
or the
BOL
or
from
the.
a broker too. We give
Bullshit.
BOLs all the time.
Oh well, for
So you're
for
saying
blind
when it
shipments,
shows up to the shipper to load the load, it's on that document from the shipper.
it's on that.
That's your
document,
bill
is
of
what he's
lading.
saying.
Yes.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
Bill
yes,
of
the bill
lading
of
comes from
yeah,
the
the
a
bill
bill
of
of
lading.
lading. Our broker's
Yes.
side produces a bill of lading for a few customers because they don't
Yeah.
want to do it. They don't know how to do it.
I have never, ever in my 28 years, have I not ever
Well-
received a bill of lading from a shipper.
Yeah, well,
I've been driving for
email it.
28 years, and
We
I've
email it
never,
to the carrier.
Yeah,
I have
no,
never not got a bill of lading from a
The
shipper.
only, the only time I've
Stop.
ever gotten.
Cupcake, can I tell you how many times in my career that I have had to do a handwritten bill of lading because
do it
it
off
was
of-
a blind
off
load?
corn. I do it off
Yes.
the corn and beans off the farm,
blind shipment,
but I
yeah.
still have it
Right.
signed. I still have to have it signed from the shipper. I will
Yeah.
I will go to farms all day long.
No,
And
no,
I
you
will,
don't.
I will fill out on
As
that thing.
per.
But
What
the
do
thing
you
of
think
it
as
is
per
this.
mean?
Scotland will sometimes when you're hauling produce for Scotland, they'll send you the bill of lading.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will.
Well, those are blind shipments. Yeah.
It just, you know, I'm sorry. And this is when I get a little frustrated. Because I respect, I appreciate what's trying to be done. But when reasonable objections get thrown up, you don't have to get so excited and so defensive.
I'm not
because
defensive.
because the reality is, okay, whatever system is put in place can be rearranged and vetoed. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is wrong. Pricing on a bill of lading is not cool for anyone, whether it be the shipper, because they, in most cases, they don't want their people to know what they're paying. Okay?
Well, we have to do something, Roger. And sitting around with an like an ostrich with our head in the sand does nothing.
Well, what are you trying
Well,
to accomplish?
Well,
I
I
am
think
trying
that
to
the
stop double
vetting
brokering.
system that
You're
I'm
never
trying
going to
to stop.
stop it. You're never
You know
going to
what?
stop
I don't
it.
believe that. I don't believe
Oh,
that.
okay.
I believe that there's a way we can bring a system together that will stop the bullshit.
Well, okay.
If you
well,
sit there and say that something will never happen and have a negative attitude, you're right.
Oh,
It won't.
I don't got a negative
if you sit
attitude. I
there-
got a
well,
realistic
like-
attitude.
Well,
Listen,
no,
I don't
you're
wanna
saying it'll
fight
never
with
happen.
you. I don't want to argue
You're saying
with
it-
you.
Well, no, what you're
Okay.
saying is it'll
Please,
never
please
happen.
listen,
That's
sir.
negative.
Please listen, sir.
I am.
I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to argue with you. Okay. Okay. Instead of putting that SHAT in the bill of lading, why don't you educate people the power of a bill of lading? Take. It's not funny.
No, what's funny is you guys keep throwing all this shit on it. I'm only one person trying to do this. I'm trying to educate on knowing your operating cost, I'm trying to educate on it.
Right.
And it's like, well, educate this, educate this, educate this. Here, one more thing to throw on there. Here, throw another motherfucking thing on there. Here's another thing to do. Here's another thing to do. Here, do it this way. Do it this way. Here's another one. It's like, God damn, guys.
I think you're. I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think that it's. I think you're doing a hell of a job. I think what you're doing is again, my hat's off to you. I think we all feel the same way. I think that just. You're absolutely right, and I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt in the way of that. You're right. I'm guilty. I'm a guilty party. Just speaking for myself. In my company, I have not read your FOPT, and I should. You're absolutely right. But I think that what we're trying to say is that, again, me as a broker, I do this, and the gentleman that you want to bring on, I think, would agree with us as you bring those people in that do this